Unfortunately, AI has ruined my motivation to keep going with art. Right now, I just do kind of silly, super stuff, but back then, like, my art was just so much more, like, it was more beautiful. It was more, like, complicated. Not that complicated, it's not beautiful or anything, but it was just, like, hard work and long hours of working. And I just really tried to perfect it as much as possible as I could. And that was when I was, like, 16, 17, even 15, so but now it's just like I just make these simple, goofy car animation. It's just like used to be nothing how I used to be. So unfortunately, AI did ruin my motivation. I just something about AI, people liking AI art more than human, most of people, just kind of didn't sit very well with me. So unfortunately, I just don't do as much hard work kind of art. I don't know, but I'd like to show you guys some things that I made when I was 16, 15, 17, whatever, around that kind of age. I really put my soul into. It's just so much better than what I make right now, and I think it's good to see, even for myself. So some of these I made maybe last year, like these stuff, but some other stuff I know I made when I was a lot younger. So we're gonna start with the water girl. This is one of my favorite renders. It's like I don't know, I call it water girl room. I made this when I was 16, so it was junior year of high school, or 17 rather, junior year of high school. And it's really cool. I made this girl for a different render actually the year prior, and I made this really complicated room of like, I don't know, it's just like a futuristic bedroom. And it's so nice, like how detailed it is, and kind of reminds me of, I don't know, kind of art from the 2015s, the concept arts or so. So really cool, steampunk and whatnot. This was made in Blender actually. The initial render was made in Unreal Engine 5, I believe, or 4. So yep, that's that one. And then the other one will be, so I took the same exact render, I made a different render out of it. Kind of like a Elden Ring like kind of thing. It's this. So I don't know where I was going with this. I think I mostly was into sci-fi stuff back then. I still am very much, and I really like this kind of dreamy renders, especially with this girl, you know, it's kind of space looking. So really cool, kind of cyberpunk-ish in here. 606 not found. I don't know what I was doing, but just were super fun. This one was actually also junior year, I believe. So I made this Wamu from JoJo when I was 15, and it was one of my first sculpting renders, and it didn't come out too bad. I mean, obviously some things are not very lined up with how the character is. Like, he wasn't clothed in the actual anime, or he didn't have the rings here. I just kind of like put my own details to it. So it just was really fun to make. I really liked how it came out. Obviously a lot of anatomy doesn't make sense. Like, you see how the shoulders is like super small, and the neck is just super weird, and a lot of it's not smoothed out, but you know, I was really happy with it, obviously being 15. So you can tell how proud I was of it because the amount of renders I made of this. And yeah, so this was what I did is I just sketched over it in Clip Studio Paint, and I just added a layer on top of what the actual render is. So you can see I just sketched over it. Valkyrie, really cool. I played God of War for the first time senior year, and I really liked the Valkyries in God of War, so I made this artwork. Kind of inspired by Valkyries and God of War, and I really liked kind of Japanese mythology at the time, of like samurais and all that stuff. So I made this Valkyrie pretty much from scratch. The only thing that wasn't scratch is the body, because I just didn't want to sculpt it. I just was kind of lazy about it, but it came out really good. I mean, some stuff are awkward, like the hand grip, and the way she's standing is a bit awkward, but a lot of this stuff is like really well textured, in my opinion at least. Like, oh man, look how cool that is. Jeez, like that's like super detailed for me. Man, look at that. Really cool. One of the funnest projects I made. And here's the clay part, which is so cool. I felt like I was a professional because I was also getting into ArtStation at that time, and a lot of people post clay renders like this, and I'm just like, dang, this looks kind of similar to ArtStation artists. Obviously not as good, but so really fun. The hair was so hard to make because I just wasn't into hair making in 3D, but you know, it was such a fun render to make. So here's a hard surface model I made when I was like 15. That was like one of my first ones. I was just getting into Blender, and I think there's like different shaders and stuff, and it was just like super high quality when I made this. I was like, oh my god, I can do this, and it was just so fun to make. Like, it's just simple, but to me that was like, it meant a lot, you know, just making this and finishing. And it took hours and hours of work because I didn't know how to model, and it came out way better than I thought. And you can see the renders right here, really cool, especially like some of the details of the surface. So cool. I don't remember where I got the concept art from. I probably mixed and merged a couple of concept arts for reference, but that was back then when I didn't know much about modeling. Here's like my second hard surface render, super fun to make. It's just like a steampunk. I was so into steampunk when I was 15, and it was just like the best genre in my life, or that I explored. So super cool the way this came out. Pretty similar to the goggles, especially with this was the first time I added like some kind of a animation, and I was like, dang, I can make this stuff like this on Blender, and it's so cool. Mind you, at the time Blender wasn't very like industry professional, so I was actually learning Cinema 4D as well along with Blender, and it was just extremely overwhelming because I also had school obviously, so it just was too much for me. So anyways, going back to that initial girl, this was the actually original render of that girl. I believe this was Unreal Engine 4, I don't remember. I made this when I was junior year, and it's just like super detailed. It's actually from a concept art that I had as my background for so long, and I don't remember where the concept art was, but I just pretty much copied it and made it into 3D, pretty much everything from scratch. So it was super fun to make and really cool, and I cannot believe this. I made this like just like one of those artwork that I made, and I just don't believe I did, because just like it just looks extremely cinematic. It kind of reminds me of almost like a Netflix show, or like a animation show. It just looks really nice, and I had a lot of fun making this, especially with putting the fish, and I believe there's an animation somewhere here. Something else. I did find the animation on ArtStation, but this is how it looks like. Really fun. Again, extremely simple. That's what I really liked about this animation. It's just nothing too crazy. And I remember animating the whale so hard, and I eventually just gave up, and I just did a basic like a basic position keyframing, and I did that same with the fish. It's just a basic like position from point A to point B, nothing too crazy. But it's just like, it was such a fun project I made. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. I have a lot of other projects to show, but for now, this is all I got to show. Thank you for watching.